achieving the 40-year milestone, I'm totally crazy. I'm completely an insane human being. I don't think anybody expected 40 years ago that we'd be sitting here now in a church on South Oxford Street in Brooklyn talking about the fact that we've been doing this for 40 years. I thought when we ran out of checks in the checkbook it would end, but it didn't. They sent us more checks and we kept writing them, and sometimes they were cashable, sometimes they weren't, but nobody said stop. And I think that's the important thing, is it's still interesting to us. It's still an exciting place to go to work. I don't feel like we ever go to work. I feel like it's always we go to play. And even the stuff I don't like doing, the fundraising and the development work and the paperwork, stuff I don't like very much, it's in service of the play and play. I think that's the best way to make theater, is with a group of people who are all using the same performance vocabulary, living in the same world. And I think it's only with an ensemble that you get the idea of the group mind. So it's not me solving a problem or you solving a problem. We're solving the problem as the group. We come up with the answer that has meaning to this group of people, and then we have the techniques through which we can solve that problem.
At the time when I was training was a time of permanent ensembles, and by that I don't mean people collectives. I think that's a different thing. But these were ensembles like the National Theater was at that time, which meant all the actors are working in one style and learning to work in one style, and that really appealed to me. And so I would say that was there. But then the other thing that really was important to me is theater being alive. And in our company at Long Wharf, there was a wonderful improviser, Barry Williford, who, you put him in something where he didn't have a text. He was so brilliant, but you gave him, here's your, he couldn't do it. It was wooden, and he got by because he was big and charismatic, but he could not speak text. And so after Long Wharf, we kind of went our separate ways for a bit, and Barbara got a job at a theater in New Jersey that was being run by an actor that she had worked with before I came to Long Wharf, and hired her to do The Importance of Being Earnest. And then he really liked that, and he said, I'd like you to come back and do Doll's House and give me good directors. And even I had never directed a professional play. And she said, oh, my friend Jim, he's a wonderful director. So that was my first professional play. And there was one scene in the play, the scene between Dr. Rank and Nora, where nobody else is there. And because we were so fascinated by this, what makes theater alive? We said, so we're doing a lot of Spolin work. We spent months, the three of us, in Terry's apartment, just doing every Spolin exercise in the book, because you can't read them. You have to do them and say that's how they work. So we were doing that. I said, okay, let's do this. We don't show anybody else, but we do just our scene, and we only use theater games to do it, and see, if anybody notices. And of course, it was much more alive. And it was a good production, but this had this extra thing. What we learned from Doll's House, the first project going through, is the importance of having a group of people who are committed enough to what you're doing. They're not jobbers. We've almost come on this country of jobbers, or there's another word that's used for it now. Meanings like, I'm doing this thing, then I'm going to go on and do this. I'm really moving, aren't you? And I think every great theater that I'm aware of all came out of an enduring company, because that way they could keep saying, that didn't work. Well, let's look at that. And that has really been this 40-year journey of, we learned from Doll's House, we learned about aliveness. Then we brought Anna came in, we were learning about physical movement. How do those two combine? We got a lot of good improvisers. We want to still do serious plays, but they can't handle text. So we add some more improvisation into that. I'm getting bored with doing that kind of work, so let's go back and look at this again. So it's really one very, very long 40-plus year journey of almost scientific sounds cold, but it's that kind of exploration.
Looking back to the beginning, I feel extremely proud. I feel like we've done something extraordinary, and someday people might find out about it. But I feel that it's been done with the best of intention, with the noblest idea behind it. I don't feel like we've ever sold out. I don't feel like we've ever compromised the mission of the company. The mission has evolved. I don't think it's ever been compromised. And that makes me really proud. It also makes me proud that we've brought so many artists through over 40 years. I can't even count the number of artists. And I believe that they have all been changed by the experience here.
Yeah, something that is provoking and exciting and challenging.
The first thing I want people to take away from being at Irondale is the fact that they take some small ownership of it, that it becomes their theater, becomes their place to be provoked, to be challenged, to be questioned, to be heard, to tell the stories. You take the stories away with you. You take the sense of, I know those people. When I go to the theater, I love seeing Michael David do this. I love seeing Terry do that. Or I love seeing Terry challenge himself and maybe fail. But it's okay. It's Terry. I know Terry.
Do you want to use your buzzer thingy?
Yes, I do.
That's horrible. All right. Anything else you want to say to the camera?
No.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me do this.
Thank you.